welcome to the Game Bars, the weekly podcast from dealspone.com, where we go diving into the best news from the past 7 days. I'm Matt Gardner, and I'm joined once again by Carl Phillips.
Sup?
And by Jonathan Lester.
Hello.
And let's kick it off with some awesome news. Let's kick it off with some Titans, right? No, we're not talking about Titanfall. We're talking about Battlefield 4. It was revealed this week that EA will be bringing Naval Strike DLC, which will add in the carrier assault mode and basically just give Battlefield 2142 a massive redux, which is awesome.
Yeah, so that must mean that the game's completely fixed and it works perfectly now. So that's good. So that's news too.
Yeah.
I mean, a new patch came out that reduced the number of times that someone kills you and it displays 0 HP. Not eradicated that bug, just reduced how often it happens. So that's good. So I'm glad to see that the game's working perfectly now. They can get back to making DLC. I can't wait to see these aircraft carriers flying gracefully through the air, spinning over and over, clipping through the scenery as boats wink in and out of existence. And I can't. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be amazing.
Repeatedly out of the game.
I'll be fine. I don't have issues. So yeah.
I just love
bully
Battlefield.
For you, Carl.
Yeah, Battlefield 4 really led the kind of glitch punk genre, I feel.
Yeah. Careful, EA will probably hear this and take it on board and just go, yeah, glitch punk, it's the way forward.
You can't, EA, we've already...
It's like a whole meta game, which like whoever finds the most bugs gets a special
I
prize.
actually used to legit play that in Fallout, so they could make it a... It's how I got through the horrifically bugged New Vegas without going entirely mad.
Yep.
Gotta love a bit of glitch punk.
Yeah.
So yeah, epic Titans.
Yeah, I mean they're taking inspiration from Battlefield 2142, a game that I really, really freaking loved. Because Battlefield is great and sci-fi is great, so sci-fi Battlefield was really.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Mm.
And hopefully this will be awesome too.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you said, like they must now be happy.
So congratulations!
with the project.
Yeah, mission accomplished. We did it. We did it, everyone. Mission accomplished. 4 more years.
4 more years.
Anyway, but yeah. So what else happened?
Nothing. That was the only thing of note.
Okay.
Only.
Well, elsewhere. Let's stick with Titans for a moment because Respawn revealed their native resolution for Titanfall.
Well, wait. First of all, they revealed the beta. I mean, let's talk about
the beta's out.
The beta's happening, and if you listen to this now, I don't think you can actually register for it now. I think you could only register up to the wire, but you might as well have a go anyway.
Yeah, don't be too disheartened if you did register and you haven't had your codes yet, because they'll be sending them out February 14th through the 17th.
Yeah, that's right.
We might have a video up on the site already by the time this goes out. But yeah, the beta is here. Titanfall is here.
Yay!
Sort of, almost. And it runs at 792p on the Xbox.
What's 792p? It's like we were like, well, so we can do 720p, but we can't quite do 1080p. So. Wow, can you make it around 800? Any chance of making it around 800? Can we make it? No, not quite. Nearly. 792.
Yeah, push it as hard as it'll go!
Yeah, push it as hard as it go, Captain! That was not a Scotty impression, honest. And, so okay, 792p. Now, the most important thing to note is that it runs at 60 frames per second. I will say this constantly until I'm blue in the face, but I don't always, unless I'm told in advance, I don't always see the difference between 720 and 1080p.
I don't always see the difference between 720 and 1080p, but when I do, I boast on the forums about it in sweary language.
But what I do see is the difference between 30 and 60 frames per second. Mm-hmm. That is like super obvious, and why I like playing at 100 frames per second on PC. Mm-hmm. Doing that is super great. That's what you want to be doing. At 4K. But leaving the PC out of the equation, you know what? I mean, lots of people have been saying, oh my god, that's pathetic. And loads of other people going, oh my god, it doesn't matter. And you know what? I mean, it's horses for courses, but I think actually, after paying 420 quid for a console, I think having it run at a, a higher resolution is probably... We should be able to expect that.
No,
Nice.
absolutely.
I don't think we should be making excuses for devs at this stage. As gamers, even if you love the franchise, you should probably be saying, great game, guys, but, next time maybe less than, 1080p.
Yeah.
No, we certainly shouldn't be letting Microsoft have a free pass for creating a console that seemingly can't handle complex games.
But the thing is,
no
one would have really noticed this if it wasn't for the fact that the upscaling, the Xbox One's upscaling. I'll speak from experience here. It's CAC. So it uses an upscale like anything that upscales it. Yeah. This is, eat your heart out, Digital Foundry. The Xbox One's upscaler is horrific because it horribly over sharpens the image, which means that if you've got a little jaggy, it becomes super jaggy. Or if you've actually got a fairly reasonable aliased surface in 720p, it becomes jaggy.
Oh, dear.
And then like fonts as well. Fonts become red. They get over sharpened, so they get ghosting.
What you need to do is rub Vaseline on your eyeballs.
No, bizarrely, what you need to do is play like Call of Duty Ghosts looks really good on Xbox One at 720p, and it looks horrible at 1080p. It's like, honestly, I've tried this myself. I've got two tellies. I've got access to two of them. One is old, really, really old, and will only handle sort of like 1080i maximum, which basically means 720p.
Yeah.
Frankly, and it looks better.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
but look, I'm not bashing it because here's the thing. Respawn are working with Microsoft on a new upscaler that might actually upscale, make games look better, rather than actively making them look worse.
That'd be nice.
So that's good news. That is good
news.
And you know what? Blah, blah, 1080p, 60, 720p, blah, blah, 792p, blah, 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 blah. The beta's out. Titanfall's nearly here. I'm really excited. That's the take home here.
You're really excited because you're going to be playing it on PC.
Well, yeah.
Well, no, I'm mainly excited because, yeah, actually, I'm not that excited. I've already got Gigantic Army. I really don't need Titanfall right now.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
I really couldn't. It just looks like a shoot.
Prepare for Titanfall. You want it.
You want it. Stop being contrarian. You want it. You know you do.
It's kind of generic, mate. But either way, we'll see how it goes down. And yeah, I'm really excited.
The thing is, it would be more of a big deal if Microsoft had somehow managed to do what we've been telling them to do for years and managed to sort of implement cross-platform multiplayer. But these are closed loops, so like it's going to be fine. And quite frankly, Titanfall is just it's cool. It's really awesome.
It's really cool.
It's LL Cool J.
Nice.
Right. Let's move on from Titans and let's look at Watch Dogs, which is apparently coming out before June. Yes. Finally, unless Wii U.
Oh yeah. But it looks like the Wii U version isn't cancelled outright. That's the good news. It's been delayed. Boo! That's the bad news. I mean, basically, what Ubisoft have announced is, so Watch Dogs is coming out before June, but the Wii U version isn't going to sell because only 5 people have one. So including like all of the game reviewers that have one, all of the games hacks that already have one. So what we'll do is that team who's working on the gamepad implementation and the optimization, let's just take them and put them on the PS4 team and the Xbox One team. Maybe do a bit of smart glass, maybe do a bit of the companion app optimization and stuff. And then when the profitable games come out, we can make the Wii U one at some point. I mean, they'll have nothing else to play. Or will they?
The thing is,
will they?
Well, yeah, we'll get onto that in a minute. But
take the segue. Take it.
Do you think it was
No. Segue, Matthew. Segue.
Before we segue, before we take the lovely standing scooter, before we do that, do we actually there's a possibility that Watch Dogs might never come out on the Wii U? But this is the only third party thing they have left.
Wait. Or is it?
Fine, right, Watch Dogs Wii U. Sorry, guys. There we go. Right, Nintendo Direct.
Hey, I want to talk about Watch Dogs, man.
Ah!
I was setting you up to like talk about Watch Dogs in more detail,
Yeah.
and what, you're changing the story already, man. What the hell?
Boo.
Look, I've leapt upon the segue that you presented to me, and we're now going to talk about Nintendo Direct,
Fine.
Righto.
Fine.
which didn't reveal much.
What do you mean?
It came, it came directly to you.
Yeah,
It didn't,
So-
didn't cover much.
it did. It said that there's going to be like little Max
Thanks.
going to be in Smash Brothers for some stupid reason.
Got a knockout punch.
Like, why don't they put? Yeah, there are so many. Just put like one of the wonderful 101 guys in there,
That'd be
and Bayonetta. Put Bayonetta in there. Thematic, tonality, cohesive direction be damned. Stick Bayonetta in there and see what happens.
cool. Thing is, every time a Nintendo Direct comes out, I feel, because they always talk about Wii U games that they've already talked about, they've already announced elsewhere, not on a Nintendo Direct, and it always just puts the Wii U games in stark contrast with the plethora of 3DS titles that are coming. I mean, there were shit tons. There are loads. We got
Yeah, I mean they announced they just reiterated that the 3DS like stuff's happening. There's going to be a Kirby game, 3D Mario Golf. Yeah, we like some
Layton
Mario
versus
Golf.
Wright.
A sequel to Steel Diver.
Yep.
Okay.
That's nice.
With
Okay.
free-to-play elements, yeah.
Mm.
yeah.
Okay, okay, Shigsy. Yeah, Professor Layton, yes. Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, about bloody time, except we're going to have to wait until freaking 2015. Why? Because Capcom are terrified of money. They're too busy getting out that Dead Rising 3 DLC anyway.
Mhm.
And, yeah, then, like, even Level 5 making a sort of what appears to be a slight rip-off of, like, Item Shop Recitatia or whatever it's called. But, looks pretty good as well.
Was that
Oh, and
Weapon Shop
finally-
Diomass?
Finally, us Europeans are getting Millennium Girl as well. Etrian Odyssey Untold. It's been out in the States for months, but we got Bravely Default first, so Where, meanwhile, on the Wii U's getting Tropical Freeze, and we can't stop it, but also we can't pluck them off the project and say, make more Metroid. But they are getting Game Boy Advance games.
Oh yeah, Metroid Fusion, which is badass.
Why?
It's
But
badass.
that's on the 3DS, on a form factor that works, and was given free to all those ambassadors.
It was.
Like, Metroid Fusion is super great. I mean, like, for a handheld Metroid, it was really good. But
Yeah, but
it-
then
the,
But then they brought out the big guns and announced that Koopalings are coming to Mario Kart 8.
why?
Big guns.
Do you know what though? That disappointed me. I mean, I knew it was going to be pushed back, but I didn't. May the 30th is
Yes, it may.
it's all well, yeah. I mean,
May the
that's-
30th
that's-
what? Matt, May the 30th what?
No, it's coming out on May the 30th.
Yeah, but
Stop it!
do you mean
Stop
can?
it! Stop
or
it!
May?
Which
It's
is
important
which is
semantic
very late, and isn't like the early 2014. We
No,
necessarily
but you see, it's totally fine because, like, what else is coming out in May? Apart from maybe Watch Dogs. Not on the Wii U. But when Watch Dogs finally comes out for every platform except the Wii U, at least Wii U owners will have something to play.
This is true.
And, you know, all those Game Boy Advance games. And Bayonetta 2!
I mean, you can drop a Wii U game anywhere, really, and it's gonna sync without a trace. I mean, you're gonna shift some.
I'll tell you what
payments.
was revealed, though. I'll tell you what was good. Enough bashing the Wii U. Freaking more combat footage from X.
Yes.
More mechs. More mechs in it now. It's like Xenoblade. But Xenoblade had a fucking amazing combat system and was pretty much a perfect game. And now they're improving it in the only way they can by adding mechs. So sod Titanfall. Again, sod Titanfall. Not X, I don't need Titanfall.
You do, because X isn't out yet.
Yeah, I can just watch.
Or
that
even
trailer.
have a proper name. So yeah,
It
gotta
doesn't-
warm up by getting into the Titanfall.
Do you know what?
That's not good for SEO.
Do you know what? Do you know what? I bet it's gonna rock a higher native resolution as well.
Oh,
Oh,
funny but true.
very true.
You know, Super Mario 3D Land handles 1080p 60 FPS. Just saying.
Yeah.
Perhaps that's what they should do with their advertising campaigns. It's like, hey,
Yeah, they should.
Yeah.
Just the whole thing, just 1080p 60 FPS, and then a picture of Reggie Phil's aim, Spider-Manning.
yeah.
Don't want to see that. Don't want to see that. Right,
His body's ready.
moving quickly on from Reggie's
body's
Spider-Man. I've got a question to pose to you guys because we've seen Steam tags emerge this week. Well, that's been a complete mess. Is Steam just fucking it up? Are they screwing the pooch?
They're in real trouble, mate. We've been saying this for a while in terms of certification. Like, we've been saying this for months and months in terms of the fact that they let games that are broken release on the store. But now it's just too easy to get games on Steam. And it's really difficult for the quality software to sort of rise over the constant slew of really bad, often very old or previously released for much less money on other platforms titles that they tend to get bought up by other publishers, sort of the fairly mercenary publishers. I'm not going to name any names like Gears Limited.
505. Thank you for Recoil.
Yeah. And, you know, they go out, a lot of these companies will go out and just buy dormant IPs and then just release them again on Steam with no tweaks to the controls, no optimization, therefore, you know, possibly it won't run. There was a game I've been trying to play recently called Gunmetal that was really great on the original Xbox. It's really fun to play it in that exact resolution again, and to have a control scheme that maps fire to the start button. And you know what? At least that's better than freaking, you know, a game came out years and years and years ago, or a decade ago, but at least it's better than Hyper Fighters. But yeah, Steam is drowning in shit. It is. And the thing is, there are loads of a lot of this stuff is, what really annoys me is a lot of this stuff is sort of indie stuff and experimental games that could be really fun to play, so long as they're appropriately priced. And there are already gateways into gaming for them. There's Desura and that whole sort of ModDB side of things for in-progress projects. There's all manner of, there's Indievania. There's loads of ways for indie games to get exposure if they're, but not like just releasing on Steam for $6 to $10.99.
Yeah,
and
but
then when you add early access into the mix,
when you've got the big issue that's come out from the whole like tagging thing, which is what we've really set off about talking about today, it's that even the good indie games are now getting like tagged with things like hipster bullshit and things like that. And of course, you've got even though it's kind of funny, like labeling Dark Souls 2 as the original Dark Souls as casual and things like that. It's funny, but it is not helpful, and it's just going to screw over the system as badly as, like we've said, the Greenlight system in terms of just rubbish getting on there instead of the good stuff. And I don't know what Steam or Valve are doing really in general, because it's just a messed up system. It's really messy, and as John's just pointed out, crap is just getting on the store.
It is. John, we can't hear you.
Yeah, you're far away.
John, you're far away.
oh no, sorry. They just want all the content.
Yeah, they just want to make
That's
money.
what they want. But they want to do that by quantity now. They want to do that by complete saturation. And that's just not how it works. When you get complete market saturation and a massive decrease in quality, you get little things called game industry crashes.
Yeah.
I
mean, you look at the only comparison I can think of really is the Android marketplace, and it's only going to be a matter of time before a instance happens where, well, a couple of weeks ago, a version of Minecraft Pocket Edition managed to make its way onto the Android store, and it wasn't made by Mojang, it wasn't an official port, and it ended up with basically having some form of malware in there where it text to a premium rate number in Russia from the person's phone when it was installed. And I'm not saying that Steam will actually be that careless, but it having this kind of openness into having anything really get on the store offers up chances for exploitation in terms of the system and getting all kinds of crap onto the store. And that's what I'm worried about. Like, someone's going to step too far, and then Valve are going to have to wake up. And I don't want them to do it before it's too late. I'd rather they just went on there and said, yes, they've already admitted that Greenlight is broken and not what they intended it to be, and they're going to try and come up with a new system. I don't know what they're doing with the tagging system. It's stupid. They should have had like a team of people to go around and go through the content and add tags. Or someone actually pointed out that they should have like a upvote or downvote on the tag system, so that like rubbish tags, or much like really trollish reviews, get downvoted into oblivion so that they're not taken into consideration.
Yeah,
True.
it's
True story, man.
It's just been. The feeling is like Newell has often come out and said, like Valve have often come out and said that like they don't like the sort of closed systems presented by home consoles and stuff like that, you know, and they've now just sort of swung completely the other way. And the trouble with that is that, yeah, there does come a point when the consumer starts going, what? When the consumer starts paying money for games that seem to have, you know, legitimacy there and are completely broken and completely unplayable and are crocs of shit, and that trust suddenly goes way down. It's been an awakening call for a large number of consumers, and Valve have to respond to this because it's only going to get worse unless they step in. But the earlier they deal with this, the earlier they work out some sort of benchmark. I mean, John, you were saying earlier this week that it used to be that getting onto Steam was, you know, a mark of approval, a seal of approval.
It used to be the good old days. I mean, I'm talking to a few a few of my indie acquaintances, and they say it used to be you could get onto Steam. It was tough, but when you got on there, you'd made it. It was a sign of quality. I mean, it was almost like you got Valve's blessing, and you're on their front page, and things were lovely for you, and you made it, and that was great.
It wasn't about jumping through hoops for marketing teams or fucking like whatever Microsoft slaps in front of indies. It was. You got on there because your game was good. If it didn't get on there, it was because it wasn't suitable for release.
Yeah, I mean, it was still incredibly difficult without a publisher or PR to get onto Steam. But even so, incredibly difficult. But even so, it was all arguably a step up from what we have now, which is, I mean, I love indie games. I play indie games too. When you look at the time breakdown, almost the exclusion of everything else. But Steam has to pick its battles and say, no, actually, we're not going to let the quality software drown in a deluge of steadily worsening crap. And we're not going to release all these broken games that may or may not work depending on your specification, because we have our own platform coming out in matter of months. Mm-hmm. And so what, are people going to buy a Steam box and then plug it into Steam and then have, like, no idea whether all these games are going to be good or not?
The thing is, they might.
Confusing mess of games.
The thing is, they might. If Valve can slap on, we have this many games. That's going to shift consoles. And then, you know, once they've sold the Steam box, everything's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine if people like load it up and just like, where do I even start?
What is even this? At least the sort of Linux porting process, I guess Valve can cherry pick those games and certify those games. But yeah, Steam needs to sort it, and they need to just do some proper A&R, really. I mean, that's what needs to happen. They need to be synonymous. I'm not saying that everything they sell needs to be great, because they're a shop. Shops don't work like that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not going to be the Harrods of the gaming world. But as it is, do you know what? A part of me, I went on Origin the other day to load up Battlefield 4, and I saw a clean, uncluttered interface with all the, oh my God, I almost found myself liking Origin the other day. I'm just saying, bunch of quality software, shit, SimCity DLC, but mainly bunch of quality software, nicely laid out, without all this confusing flood of new stuff and loads more buttons appearing, tags and user reviews, continually making the whole thing even bittier and more fractious. Just saying, Steam.
That said, though, they did release Battlefield 4, and that
I'm not cutting them any slack. Don't get me wrong.
that was a buggy piece of shit that shouldn't have got past certification.
Yeah, there is that
at the time of release.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Steam needs to clean this up to a certain extent. Like they don't need to be. There is a middle ground between having some benchmark for. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't have to be good because good is it's a relatively arbitrary concept in terms of that. And yeah, it's a shop. It sells stuff. Some of that stuff will be better than some of the other stuff. But it does have to work. And if you're paying good money for something, it does have to run. That's what we're really getting at here. Like, no more of this buggy crap, broken messes. That's not a good way to instill trust in your consumers.
Not at all.
So yes, Valve, sort it out. Right, before we go, as always, it's time for winners and losers of the week. We need to get some sort of musical stinger there, like Carl.
Winners and losers of the
loser of the week. Who's loser of the week this week? Nominations.
Probably the indie developer who got shafted by King.com this week.
Oh yes, the Candy Swipe guy.
Yeah, Candy Swipe guys who have been battling King.com for about a year over the use of candy in their name and have now been completely screwed over because King.com have bought an earlier trademark using the word candy that was from 4 years previous to Candy Swipe coming out, and because they bought that, they are now able to get Candy Swipe to be taken off the store or have their name changed or whatever. Even though Candy Crush Saga is completely a rip-off of Candy Swipe.
It would appear so. I mean,
value shout. That's
yeah.
so low.
And it's horrible because, I mean, this guy put out a heartfelt letter saying that they were basically King.com, I hope you're happy that you're taking the food off my table, because he that's how he makes his money from Candy Swipe, which has been a fairly successful app on mobile devices. So yeah, and it also completely goes in the face of the open letter that King.com released as well, saying that they were going to be protecting IPs and allow developers to nurture their own stuff, and it's just another disgusting move from King.com.
It's a big fuck you, isn't it, really?
Absolutely.
We can say this, but we can actually just do whatever the hell we want because we don't care.
And we're big enough to do it.
Yeah.
And the thing is,
who's going to stop us?
And you're not.
Yeah.
Who's going to stop us? You?
Yeah. They are getting away with it, which is just absolutely sickening. So and the thing is, I don't know what to do, because I've spoken to people who are not necessarily big gamers that don't follow the news, and I've said, well, you shouldn't really play Candy Crush Saga because they are a bunch of, well, I'm not going to say the word, but they are, and they turned around and said, yes, but it's a fun game, it was free, and I don't play it all the time, I don't spend my money, I just play it every so often, and I turned around and said, well, why don't you get something like Bejeweled or Puzzle Quest? And they were just like, because it is kind of fun, and unfortunately that's the feeling of the general public. It's awful because King.com won't learn.
No. You can't really tell people what not to play.
Absolutely.
Because they don't really care.
No, but you know what? So long as the big major players in our industry should be pushing things forward, keep releasing abusive crap like Dungeon Keeper. I mean, what else are you going to play?
It's not great.
No.
Come on, guys.
Yeah. So unfortunately, fuck you, King.com, and I think the loser, unfortunately, this week is the developer of Candy Swipe.
Albert Ransom.
Yeah. So yes, we hope that he gets back on his feet and finds some form of salvation. Well, some form of good hope through all of this. But I just.
That's so disappointing. It's just fuck you, King. Seriously. Do we have a winner so we can turn this around and end on a positive note and not depress people thoroughly this weekend?
We got quite a few shouts, I think. Both PlayStation Vita owners and Jeff Minter. Oh my god, TXK is out, and it's so great. I can't even. Like, I'm a huge fan of Space Giraffe and the, like, inexplicable floating neon face of, like, Jay Allard that appears while you're playing it. Oh my god, I love Llamasoft. But this is even better. This is, like, one of the best shooters I've played ever, and it's exclusively out on Vita. You just gotta oh my, yes, it's the electric Basingstoke of the soul. Yes.
I think as well.
Oh man, it's a hot neon curry, and it's just. Have you ever seen that episode of The Next Generation where everyone gets addicted to a game, apart from Wesley Crusher?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember
It's that game.
Oh well,
It's
in that case,
amazing.
let's get on it.
That's gonna happen. I think a shout out for Xbox fans because of the Titanfall beta. This is the first big kind of semi-exclusive, console exclusive at least.
Yeah.
That's the beta's here. People are playing it. The hype is rolling, and oh man, it's gonna be so good. So like next gen starts here again.
There were award winners this week as well. Potential award winners and actual sort of like honorary award winners.
GTA and
Well done, GTA 5, for being nominated for Best Story. Well done, GTA 5. You know what? I like GTA 5.
I enjoyed it.
Damn,
yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good actually, but it doesn't. I don't think it deserves to win an award.
Yeah. There's a difference between enjoyable and brilliant, I feel. Yeah. And
oh man.
Yeah. So yeah, there was that.
Oh, no.
But then for the GDC awards, we got told that there were going to be like the Ambassador Awards going to Anita Sarkeesian for her stuff that she did on tropes in video games, and the guys behind League of Legends, they're getting a Pioneer Award. So
good, yeah, good.
Yeah.
Like two well-deserved things there. Like League of Legends is just that's how you do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Anita Sarkeesian. Do you know what? Like, you don't have to agree with everything in her videos, but fucking yes for starting up that discussion.
And you know what? She's only fucking right as well. Like, you can quit her with the specifics all you want, the little nitpicks, and say everything anyone says is wrong because this one little thing is wrong. This opinion. That it's allowed to have. No, she's only fucking right though. We need to game developers forget all this sexist thing. We as gamers deserve games with better female characters in. We do. If for no lesser reason, not even if you don't want to push things forward, even if you don't want to be progressive, we pay a lot of money for these games. We deserve better female characters. We deserve better games. We should be up in arms about this. Everyone should be.
Yeah.
Well, I think we just need better characters all round, frankly. But yeah, it's right.
Better writing, wider writing, more inclusive. Do it.
Yeah, do it. It'll make all our games better for everyone.
Absolutely.
And do you know what? Like, for the love of God, don't bring your petty arguments and your fucking, oh no, she said an opinion I don't hold about a game that defined my childhood. Now my childhood is ruined. Don't do that. The fucking comment stream on that games industry piece is
yeah, don't do it.
A sad indictment.
Don't do it if you're a game design student and you're commenting in a place that might be full of potential employers.
Oh, absolutely.
Don't raise your disgustingly pathetic, hilariously out of touch and unemployable views on what is effectively an online portfolio.
I was going to say, like, it's come up with a very easy list for people to just look at and go, yeah, don't hire them. No.
It's like walking into a job interview and flopping your cock out on the desk and then setting the desk on fire. And then chopping your nose off to spite your face.
And then putting it on your cock? No!
Oh, God! Right, we're stopping. So, yes, Anita Sarkeesian, keep doing what you're doing, because damn, like, we need this discussion to be happening. And we're winning because of it. We're winning because of it. Fuck the people who are trying to stop us from winning. So, yes, that is the Game Buzz. Happy weekend. Happy Valentine's weekend. Play Titanfall with your loved one.
Wow.
That's the way to do it right this weekend. And thank you very much for listening. Do hit subscribe if you're watching / listening to this on YouTube. We'll catch you next weekend for some more hot topic debating. Yes. But until then, bye guys.
Bye.
Well.